So now that we've had all these different types of videos, compressions, containers, and formats, I want to look a little bit about how they're captured. And so for that, we're going to be talking about video cameras. And over the years, video has kind of changed the way that we've been shooting, especially for ENG. We would start off with like bigger cameras that would fit onto your shoulder, and we would move into the smaller cameras this is the type that you see a lot of days for news gathering. And then even for some productions like documentaries and small video productions, they're starting to use the DSLR that were originally designed for still pictures, but have now evolved to shoot digital pictures. And even this type of technology has created some very interesting effects for shooting video. So as I look at this is an image or a video from a movie called The Matrix. And in The Matrix, you had a person shooting a bullet around our hero, and he's able to dodge the bullets. But they pulled off an effect that had never been seen before in motion in cinema. And this was called the magic bullet effect. And what they wound up doing was they took their actor and suspended them from some cables onto a green screen. And then they had a series of cameras lined up next to each other in a spiral location. And just like they did with that first motion picture of the horse moving across the tripwires, they did something similar in that they had set off each of these cameras one at a time in rapid succession while the actor was just kind of hanging there from the wires. And so they were able to shoot this spiral image of this actor in almost like a 3D image that hadn't really been done before. And so we're changing the way that we use cameras. Oh, by the way, here's a piece of trivia for you. What do you think the first theatrical movie that was shot with digital cameras was? Up until this point, all movies or most movies had been shot in the world of professional cinema, had been shot on film. And then every day they would have to process the film and go back and look at it. What was the first film to be shot with digital cameras so they could go back and immediately look at it? Well, if you guess Star Wars, you'd be right. But not just any Star Wars. It was the episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So after they had come back and shot, after they'd shot the first Star Wars movies in the 70s and 80s, and then they came back in the 90s and had continued the saga by now shooting episodes 1, 2, and 3. But with episode 1, they now started shooting on cameras with hard drives, and they were shooting this as video images as opposed to film. And George Lucas was talking about how this was a great technology, that he wasn't able to shoot Star Wars the way he wanted to before, and things like this was able to let him create the saga and the series that he had originally wanted. Now, speaking of videos that's been shot, I'm sure almost all of you guys have a cell phone, and you probably know that there's a camera on it. I'm sure many of you have shot many videos and many photos on your camera. So even cell phones are becoming a way of recording and distributing video. But and you're going to see it in a lot of different venues. So we've got an case of like up here, a bunch of parents are videotaping their kids' dance recital. Or if people go to a concert, they're going to want to record a moment of video. So they're going to take their camera and they're going to hold it up to get the video they want. So here's a question for you in the realm of ENG. When you're shooting video for smartphones, which is the best way to hold your camera? Do you want to hold it up as A, or do you want to hold it up as B? Which is the preferred method for shooting video? Well, I want you to check out this little public service announcement for vertical video syndrome, and one of the reasons why they recommend that you hold your camera one way instead of the other.
This video didn't have to look this way. It could have been prevented. Say no to vertical videos.
Vertical videos happen when you hold your camera the wrong way. Your video will end up looking like crap.
There are more and more people addicted to making vertical videos every day. It's not crack or nothing, but it's still really bad. There are two different kinds of people who are afflicted with VVS. The first group treats the videos they shoot like pictures. They don't mean any harm. They just don't understand that while you can turn a picture, you can't really turn a video.
The other group is people who don't give a
Vertical video syndrome is dangerous. Motion pictures have always been horizontal. Televisions are horizontal. Computer screens are horizontal. People's eyes are horizontal. We aren't built to watch vertical videos.
I love vertical videos!
Nobody cares about you!
If this problem's left unchecked, YouTube will begin showing 4 videos at once, just to save bandwidth.
Letterboxed vertical videos would be the size of a postage stamp.
And it will spread everywhere. Movie screens have always been horizontal. If vertical videos become accepted, movie theaters will have to be tall and skinny.
And all the movie theaters would have to get torn down and rebuilt. And by the time they were rebuilt, Mina Coolitz would be old and ugly.
And birds will crash into them and die.
And we will all get stiff necks from looking up.
And no one will sit in the front row ever again.
And George Lucas will re-release Star Wars again. The skinny edition.
I was never really able to tell the story that I wanted to tell. This is a great chance for me to experiment with a new technology.
You're a jerk.
Every time a mobile device is used to record video, the temptation is there. Just say no. Say no to George Lucas. Say no to old Mila Kunis. Say no to vertical videos.
And if you see someone doing it, say, "You're not shooting that right, dummy!"
This is the way that we prefer you to hold your camera when you're shooting video. Because television screens, 16 by 9, human eyes, horizontal. So when you're going to go shoot that, you want to make sure that it's going to fit in the medium that you're going to... Here we go. Take 2. So, what's the best way to hold it? Well, if you're shooting news, if you're shooting video for news or television, you're definitely gonna want to shoot it horizontal. You want that 16 by 9 aspect ratio, and you want it to be seen kind of the way it's going to fit your end result media. Now, some things like social media, YouTube, they do allow you to shoot vertical videos, but it'll work well in some social media standards. Like I've seen it with Instagram, I've seen it with YouTube and the like. But when you try to take that same video and you want to switch it over to television, you're going to wind up that the video isn't going to fit the screen. So you're going to have these black bars, or what we call them as curtains, on the side of the screen. And it can be distracting for when the video is presented. So one of the ways that they'll fix it is they will kind of duplicate the video, and then they will blur it so that it fits into the background, and it's going to wind up taking the entire screen. So I've seen it done sometimes where they'll just kind of do a blur, or they may try to do the station logo. But the big thing is going to be that when you shoot it, hold your phone the right way, because there may be a lot of information that you're going to be missing that isn't going to be seen for the end user. But sometimes you also have to consider what you're going to be shooting. If you're going to be shooting something that does happen to be very tall, if you have a basketball player that's going to go and shoot a hoop, or if you're trying to shoot a very tall building, you may want to switch your camera over to fit that. But for the most part, think about shooting. When you do shoot, you're going to want to shoot in 16 by 9 ratio to make sure that everything gets covered as far as the screen. So that way, when the station does air the footage, it's going to fill the screen and it's not going to be overly distracting. So here's a video that I want you guys to watch. And in this video, we're going to basically see that there was a group of people getting together. They were just kind of having a dance competition, and then in the middle of it, the police showed up and all sorts of chaos broke out. So take a look. And one of the things that you're going to see is that this video was shot by two different people. One person was shooting it vertical, and the other was shooting it horizontal. I wish I could dance that good, but I can't. So when we were looking at the video, you could definitely see the change in the horizontal versus the vertical. And with the horizontal video, you were able to get more of the action, more of the people in the background than you were with just the narrow vertical. And so when a lot of TV stations get news footage, they have different ways of addressing it. So one of the things that we've seen is they'll duplicate the video and blur it in the background. They may just leave the black curtains. They may throw in like a station background, like you can see in a few of these. There's like a blue animated background that may spin, may be solid, that they can use to present. And then even one station has a picture of a cell phone, and they've got that embedded in the cell phone to kind of help explain what that's doing. So when we're shooting video, especially if you're going to use video for just personal use, or if there is something that you want to record for posterity, if there's something that you want to record for news and for engagement, remember your audience, remember your medium, and for the most part, when you do shoot, you're going to want to shoot a horizontal video and not a vertical video.